I guess we'll go ahead and get started. I just want to welcome everybody to the info session today. Thank you all for coming. I hope we can answer some questions. The purpose of the information session is really to just go through the grant and let you know kind of what's coming up next week so you can start to get prepared. Let's see. There we go. So before we get started, I'd like to introduce Amy Tate. She is our Board Grants Committee Chairperson, and she's just going to say a couple words of welcome to everybody before we dive into the application.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending this meeting. I'm so excited to be talking about this morning. This is something that the Arts Council has been considering for the last year or so. How can we make this happen? And we want you to think big, think collaboration, think a good change for your organization. We're hopeful to see grant applications that add to your capacity to bring the arts to the community. Maybe you said, I just need this one person to help with this for this year, but we just don't have the extra money, or we need to make a physical improvement to our space. We're thinking along big lines for all of you. And we're so thankful that we have such a great arts community here in the county that we can just have this one cycle to make it even better. So thank you, Susan, for bringing everybody here this morning, and let's get going. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. So this morning, the agenda, we will go over the grant guidelines, and then I have a number of slides that will just review the grant application. And then we'll have a chance at the end for any kind of questions and answers if anybody has anything else that they don't have any clarity on. So, all right, so the eligibility. In order to be eligible for this grant, all organizations must be a previous recipient of a community arts grant, produce or present the arts through public programming in Anne Arundel County, be incorporated in Anne Arundel County as a 501c3 nonprofit, and have a significant physical presence in Anne Arundel County. Establish that most of the arts activities produced and or presented take place in the county. Be governed by a legally liable board of directors acting under the mission statement and budget specific to the organization, and be able to document current good standing status with the Maryland Department of Assessments and Taxation at the time of application. Partnerships. Partnerships are allowed through this grant. So organizations may partner with another arts organization and submit a joint application. And partnerships may include 2 or up to 3 organizations if there's a group of organizations that would like to work together. If you are planning on submitting a group application, a partner application, one organization will actually submit the organization. They will be the lead partner. So one organization will go ahead and fill everything out, and they'll be the point of contact for the other organizations. Also, please know that if you are partnering, the partner organizations also have to be eligible for the grant. So the partner organizations have to have either had a community arts grant awarded to them or a founding grant awarded to them to be eligible to be a partner. Timeline. The grant will open next Wednesday, March 15th. It will stay open for a month and close on April 15th. You will submit your application through our submittable page. The Arts Council award letters, including banking forms if necessary, will be sent out on or before June 10th, and the award payments will be made by June 30th. Interim reports for this grant will be due on February 15th of 2024, and the final reports will be due next August 15th. And as for funding, funding can range anywhere between $5,000 and $75,000. A limited number of grants will be awarded. The reasoning for this wide range is that we understand that smaller organizations can have great impact with less resources than perhaps a larger organization. So it's really about what is going to create transformational change for your organization, and that's what you should base your budget on. Okay, eligibility form. There is an eligibility form for this grant. The first thing you'll be asked is if you have ever received a founding grant or a community arts grant. Then you'll be asked if it's a partnership. And if it is a partnership, has your partner or partners ever received a founding grant or a community arts grant? After you complete the eligibility form, it'll take you to the grant application. The grant application actually has a few different categories. So the first is questions pertaining to purpose and need. Your first question on the grant application will be, for what purpose will your organization use the strategic impact grant? This is a short answer. So what we're looking for here is just 1 or 2 sentences. Basically, you'll answer, my organization is looking to add a development person. My organization is looking to build a gazebo on our property. My organization is looking to add a CRM. So it's just really a 1-line, what are you applying for? Now, the second one, the second question is a follow-up to this question, and it will enable you to give a more detailed description as to the use of those grant funds. So essentially, you can kind of look at it as the first question is sort of the title, and the second question is the narrative as to why you are looking to fund this project. And then how did your organization determine this need? How do you justify the needs for this fund for your organization? And then lastly, in this section is just a timeline for implementation. And this can just be, bullet points, or however you can best give us the information about how you will implement this program. Okay, that's the first section. The second section of the application is really about transformation and impact. So you will be asked to explain how this grant will transform your organization or organizations, if it's a partnership, operations and or programming. How will this how will this transformation support the mission of your organization or organizations if it is a partnership? What do you anticipate the short-term impact of this grant on your organization or organizations? By short-term, we're looking in the next year or 2. And then as a follow-up to that, what do you anticipate to be the long-term impact of this grant? So for that, we're looking to have you forecast out 3 to 5 years. And lastly, how will your organization's increased capacity impact the greater community? I just want to take a quick moment to stop right here and just to mention that, as with all of our grant applications, there is a collaboration button at the top of the application. So we encourage collaboration. If there are other people within your organization who can add to this, if you enable that collaboration, multiple people in your organization can work on the grant application. Evaluation. How will your organizational transformation be evaluated? Provide a detailed explanation of your evaluation methodology. So we're just looking at here for you to explain to us how you will determine if this is successful, and how what type of methodology you are using to show that. And then, as a follow-up to that, to list up to 5 metrics that you will use to measure the success of your program or project. Okay, financial information. Obviously, we will ask you how much money you're requesting. Secondly, we will ask how you determined this amount. So what was it that, what process did you go through to determine that this amount of money is what you need for this? And I will kind of say right now, take a little bit of a pause. One of the questions that we've had come up is, do I need a match? And the answer to that is no, you do not need a match. However, if you are asking for an amount that will not fully fund your program, you will need to show how you are making up those extra funds. So you can submit an application for the entire amount that you need without having to come up with matching funds. But if you do need extra funds, you will have to show where they're going to come from. We also ask for your current operating budget. That's this year's budget. I know with a lot of our community arts grants, we'll ask you for next year's budget, but this one, we just want to know what your budget is that you're operating on this year. Okay, uploads, additional information that we need. A budget. So you can just, we're not including the type of charts that we usually include for budgeting. This is just something that you can upload a PDF and have it in your own format. Additional budget documentation. This is not required. However, if there are other documentation that you have that support your program, this is where you would put it. So it can be a needs assessment. It can be a proposal, a contract. It can be salary benchmarks. A job description if you're looking to add a new position. So any other documentation that will support the budget will be uploaded here. And then you can upload your, the question in the prior section was just to put your budget number, but this is where you will actually upload a current budget. The Department of Tax and Assessments and Taxation good standing. This is pretty standard for anybody who's ever applied for a grant from us. A screenshot is acceptable for this. Okay, additional uploads. We would like to see a list of your organizational leadership and your board of directors. Included in this, please give the appointment terms for your board so we know when they started on the board and how long they are serving. 2 letters of support for the project. So this can come from wherever you feel is most necessary. If it, it's really up to you, but 2 letters of support. And then any additional support materials. Again, this is not required. This is optional, but you can upload documents, videos, pictures, anything that you think will help support your application. The banking information form, stop. It will be included in the application in case anybody has any new banking information. However, if you do not, and your information is the information that we have always dealt with here at the Arts Council, don't fill this form out. We already have that information. But if you do have a change, then you can go ahead and fill this out. And then your electronic signature and submitting, and you are done. Questions? Anybody have any questions? I'm actually going to, here's my contact information. I do want to say that we will put a recording of this session up on the website so that you can go back and refer to it later if you need to. I will also be posting on the submittable page of our website a list of frequently asked questions, so you can refer to that document as well if you need to. Oh, one other thing that I'd like to add before we move into the question section is that if you are applying for a community arts grant, which will open on April 15th, so immediately following this grant will be when the community arts grants for next year will open. Please do not put this grant in your budget for next year. This is a freestanding grant and it should not be included in your FY24 budget numbers for your community arts grant that you'll be submitting next month. Okay, I'm going to stop my share so I can see everybody. All right. Hi. Now I can see everybody. Does anybody have any questions? Donna, do you have a question?
Just quickly, I'm just trying to think of all the different projects, but let's just say it's a new position.
Mm-hmm.
So where would you expect the letters of support to come from for that position? Like how would I'm trying to think about?
You can have your board write a letter of support. You can have other staff members, if the job would, impact their work, that can be someplace that you would have it.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Anybody else? Oh,
I have a
Debbie, do you have one? Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Because I try to think big. So could we break this up into 2 needs for the total 75,000?
I don't know what you think, Trisha.
And would they have to be intrinsically related?
Hey, Debbie, remind me of your annual operating budget.
It fluctuates a lot depending on grants, but about 100,000.
I would say just pick one project that's your biggest need and apply for that.
Okay, just as a follow-up on that, so if that was, since our budget is bigger, I guess I'd have the same question. If there were 2 needs that were either related or unrelated, could you ask for both of them?
I think if you wrapped it all together in
Together, that's what I
one
was gonna say.
project, yes. But if
Okay.
you're going to present us with 2 standalone projects, I would say you're not going to get funded on both. We might fund one.
Okay. Great, thank you.
And I guess this is a related question. So let's say we have a project that's 75,000. Might you give us part of that in order to distribute the funds?
That's another maybe. We don't really know until we see what comes in.
Yeah.
If that ends up being a shining star among the applications, then we might fund it all. But if we see something else that we see as a more pressing need, you might get half. But in that case, it might be worth writing that you have possible funding for the other half of the project, if that helps.
Anybody else? Any other pressing questions? Well, you obviously know where to find us. So you can email anytime, you can pick up the phone and call. We are more than happy to help you through the process and give any support that we can to you. We're really, really excited to see all the different projects that you guys are dreaming big and wanting to come up with. It's a very exciting time, and we're really, really thrilled to be offering this grant, and we're very excited to see what comes through the door. So thank you so much for coming, Amy. Thank you for joining us with those words this morning. And again, if anyone has anything that they need as a follow-up, please do not hesitate to just reach out.
Great.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.